I'm backwards anyways. My head's in a fog.
Good evening. It's August 28th. It's 6:23. We're going to open the Dudley Conservation meeting. Members present:
Samantha Costello.
George Slingo.
Fran Mikulajczyk.
Jim Kepke.
First on the agenda is Ed Hood, Opakam Land Trust, request for conservation restriction to be held for Opakam land located in Dudley. Please.
He's busy right now.
Good evening. My name is Ed Hood. I'm Executive Director of Opakam Land Trust. We're based in Brimfield. We're a land conservation nonprofit. We care for about 2,000 acres of land between Charlton and Munson, and we work in towns like Dudley as well. And I'm working on an application to the United States Forest Service for a property we own that is in Sturbridge and Dudley. So if you look on that map, you'll see a property marked 2 and 3 on there. 3 is the part of that property in Dudley. It's the old Maurice Morneau Dairy Farm, which he donated to Opakam Land Trust and which we own. We have a tenant on that farm who's using the agricultural fields and barns, but we're managing about 120 acres of forest land on that property. We did timber harvest in 2017. We do educational programs on that property. And Mr. Morneau donated that property to us to protect it forever. But right now it does not have a permanent conservation restriction on it, which is a standard device to protect property in perpetuity. And so I'm applying to the Forest Service to put a conservation restriction on this property. They'll actually buy that from us and then hold it in perpetuity. And I'm asking if the Dudley Conservation Commission would be willing to be the holder of that conservation easement. Either needs to be a state agency or a local municipality. And just for context, this application is actually for 8 properties stretching from Dudley into Hamden, and it's totaling about 1,000 acres. All private properties except for this one, which Opakam owns as a private nonprofit corporation. And so I've gone before all the other 6 towns' conservation commissions to get their permission to hold the CRs, doing the same thing with you. And it would really require no cost on your part. You would hold the development rights on that property so that in the future, either my organization or subsequent, directors of my organization could not sell or subdivide that property out of permanent conservation. So the goal is permanent conservation. And so what we're doing now is I just need a letter from the Conservation Commission saying you're willing to consider that if the project is funded. It will not bind you at that time, because if the conservation restriction is actually funded by the Forest Service, it would need to come back to you and the selectmen for review and signatures. So right now I'm just seeking your support for the application. And I think I sent a draft letter to are you Karen?
Carol.
Carol, sorry. That would, we'd fill in the information on that parcel. It's only about 25 acres of land. Most of the property is actually in Southbridge, who's agreed to hold the CR for that part of the property.
What road is that
Yeah,
on?
we can't see it.
Blackmer, sorry about that, yeah. Blackmer Road in Southbridge.
Blackmere.
Yeah, that property is really only accessible from Dudley through the woods. There's no direct way, it's just a little piece of the top of the hill there before it comes down into the Quinnebog Valley.
So on the other end, where's that at?
The number 2?
Yeah,
It's all Southbridge.
Yeah, that's in Southbridge.
and then the back end of 3 is touching,
There's a road there. That's not Blackmere Road.
is that 31?
131 is to the east of that property.
131's over here. So,
This is actually west of 131 in the river, so it's in that far southwestern corner of Dudley.
Kind of by Fish Road?
no, that's
You don't happen to have a bigger map, I was just curious.
Do we have one in here? Yeah, that's,
no. I have an idea where it is.
yeah, if you look in the, above 3, you'll see a little bit of blue. That's the Quinnebog River, and that's 131 running parallel to it.
Okay.
And that's the town line between Dudley and Southbridge, that big black line running, through 2 and 3.
By the winery, the little winery.
Whippoorwill Farms.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would somebody want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that Ed Hood, Opakam Land Trust request for conservation restriction to be held,
Letter of support,
letter for support in Dudley.
subject to the
Second.
Selectmen- Right,
Okay.
subject to selectmen's restriction.
And that would be at the time, that would be if the application is accepted, then we would bring it back at that point for them to review. So again, you're not bound to it, so we're just saying now that in principle, you'll support the application.
Yep. A motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. So you have that template letter, so I can
I will
revise it?
check. If not, I'll email you for a copy of it.
Great. And I just need one member to sign it, whoever's authorized, and that'll do for the application. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Next is Lyons Road, notice for intent for subdivision, public hearing continued.
The applicant said that they were still waiting DEP's comments and they haven't received them, so we'd like to continue to our September 18th meeting.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion
Yep.
to continue the public hearing to September 18th, 2019 for Lyons Road, notice of intent for subdivision.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Noble?
No.
Are you here for Noble?
Hayden Pond. The next two are continuations to October 9th.
Okay, well, we'll just go right to 50 Hayden Pond Road. Is that you? 50 Hayden Pond Road, a notice of intent for an addition, porch, and deck rebuild, concrete pier footings for a patio.
I'm going to open the public hearing.
And this would be for a public hearing, and it's at 6:30. I'll open the public hearing.
Submit the green cards and the public notice.
Thank you.
Okay. Sheriff?
Yep.
There's another plan in file, or a couple in file if you
I
need
have a
it.
couple right here, so you don't take them.
Think we can share this.
Hi, I'm Fred Trifoni. I'm representing Marissa Zemski. We do have a file number. Did you get it? Okay. Basically, it's a house remodel with an addition. If you look at the activity description keys, you'll see A is the house addition.
Yep.
That's getting built on the front of the house towards Hayden Pond. That's just a 12 by 16 addition. Activity B is they have a front porch. We're gonna keep the roof intact and just rebuild the deck and put in some new footings. Activity C, that's an existing deck there. We're gonna remove the existing stairs and tuck some new stairs back closer to the house. The deck footprint stays the same as the original.
Okay.
Activity D, they have this existing screen porch there now. We're gonna take that right off and build a fourth season porch. And it's the same footprint, but we need 3 new piers. In activity D, I'm sorry, I already said that. E is another existing deck in the back. We're gonna rip a little bit off the back of it, and basically rebuild the deck in the same footprint. And they're proposing pervious pavers around the back of the house and a pervious paver walkway.
So you're not going any closer than what's already there?
What's that again?
You're not going any closer to the water?
No, we're not expanding the footprint at all. Towards the water. We are at the front with that addition, that's it.
Our wetland consultant, Matt, his recommendation is to issue a standard order of conditions.
To close the public hearing.
Either, obviously, there's no abutters.
No about it.
Any questions from the board?
No.
I will close the public hearing at 6:33.
I make a motion that we move to issue a standard order of conditions to 50 Hayden Pond for an addition, porch, and deck rebuild, concrete pier footings for patio.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Do you want the order of conditions sent to you or to Marissa? Do you want the order of conditions sent to you or to Marissa to record?
Yeah, send them to my office, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Noble Road, Lot 1, R2, notice of intent for a single-family dwelling. Public hearing continued. Have we heard anything with that?
They requested to continue to October 9th.
So we don't have to open it to order to
No,
continue it?
just continue it to
Okay,
October
so I'll
9th.
make a motion that we continue the public hearing to October 9th, 2019 for Noble Street Lot 1R2, notice of intent for single-family dwelling.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to continue the hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
It's the same thing with that next lot as well.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that Noble Street Lot 1R3, notice of intent for single-family dwelling, be continued to a public hearing for October 9th, 2019.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10 Noble Street, request for certificate of compliance. Matt's recommendation, all work has been completed in accordance with your order of conditions, recommends a certificate of compliance.
What was that?
10 Noble Street.
Is there a plan number? I don't remember it.
Single-family house.
I'll make a motion that we request for 10 Noble Street certificate of compliance. All the work was completed, so.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have that one?
Yep.
'72 Dudley Oxford Road Enforcement Order, non-compliance with enforcement order. Motion, move to issue fines beginning August 28th for non-compliance by applicant on 3 counts. Count 1, failure to file notice of intent as described by bylaw. Count 2, unauthorized work within 25-foot no-touch zone. Count 3, filling and grading in wetland resource areas. All violations will be issued per day for a total of $300 per day until the violation is stopped and/or the owner has met the conservation and can come up with a remediation plan approved by the commission. Failure to adhere to this modified enforcement action within 30 days result in an increase of fines up to $300 per day, totaling $900 per day.
Anybody have any questions?
I haven't been to some of the meetings, so I'm not sure what happened here.
They were filling in some wetlands. It's the land house right next to, or near the school. And they went over there, Matt went over there and said that it's obvious that they were doing it. So, it was issued to stop, cease and desist, and they're still doing it.
Never responded.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Didn't come to the last meeting.
Still not here?
Right. It was received well in advance of our meeting. It was signed for on August 3rd. Our meeting was August 7th, and no one called or came to the meeting.
You didn't call
And then
me?
we sent another letter, and that was received well in advance as well, and no call, and didn't come to tonight's meeting.
So what's the next step?
Fines.
Fines.
Just fine them, yeah?
Yep. But we have to
And if
do
they
it,
don't pay for that, then it goes beyond that.
right,
When does that fine start?
Today.
Or has it
28th.
already?
today.
I'll make a motion to 72 Dudley Oxford Road enforcement order takes effect for non-compliance with enforcement order.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
You
now
think
that
he
was,
at least argued his point, you know?
there was, you have to do a clarification on,
I mean, what is the, you get to like a
what is the
legal,
name of that
like,
guy? The
This is legal stuff, but
plan?
you don't pay your bill.
Zajac,
He's just dumping.
Oh,
it
that's
by
right,
land.
yes.
From what
30
I
Fish
thought
Road.
he was just throwing
30 Fish Road.
He
It
said
was,
truckload.
the ANRAD
These stuff's coming in.
was,
Evidently,
it didn't
she said that
specify
He's dumping
the setback,
loads of
and
stuff
they're
in the
requesting
wetlands.
50 feet.
Just keeps doing it.
So, on Fish Road, 30 Fish Road, Zajac, the ANRAD was unclear. Or when we filled out the paperwork, it didn't specify the setback, and they were requesting 50 feet, seeing that their work was already done from previous digging to within 50 feet. So we need to make a motion on that to clarify that. So I want to make a motion on that?
So a motion to change the setback?
Nope.
No.
Just to set the setback.
To make the
So I make a
setback
motion
60.
to set the setback for what number on Fish Road?
30
30
Fish
Fish Road
to 50 foot.
to 50-foot
Setback.
setback.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to set the setback at 50 feet for the ANRAD for 30 Fish Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion to accept the meetings for August 7th, the meeting minutes, excuse me, for August 7th, 2019, as presented.
Second it.
A motion's been made and seconded to accept the meeting minutes for August 7th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
43?
Motion's been made.
It's a
Second
struggle.
it.
Oh, second.
It's a struggle.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.